Hey guys, this is the Prince of Mastodon, and I'm doing a commentary video for Empire Total War multiplayer. This is a Russia versus Britain battle. I'm in command of the Russians, and my opponent is Pistova 11826 in command of the British. Alright, I cut off the first 2 minutes of this video, and that was me advancing all the way from here to up here. And during that time I was taking artillery fire from my opponent, and I also took some heavy gunfire from his green jackets and his light infantry. Anyways, I'm going to be applying Suvorov's school of tactics in this battle. And if you guys don't know who Suvorov is, he was one of the greatest commanders ever in military history. He's one of those few commanders in history that remained undefeated. So it was like him and Alexander the Great. Very few generals ever were undefeated in battle, but Suvorov is one of them. And he was actually a very old general when Napoleon took command. I believe Suvorov perished in 1800. Before he ever could come to grips with Napoleon. Anyways, I have launched this cavalry assault on my opponent's line guards here on the center, and also on the right against his, I believe, his life guards. Here's the close-up. Anyways, one of Suvorov's tactics was to fire off a few volleys and then charge in with the bayonets. His philosophy was that bullets were very inaccurate, but the bayonet could never miss. And one of the other hallmarks of his strategy was offensive action at the highest level. And he considered defensive action to be worse than death. So it was basically attack, 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 never retreat, and hurt your opponent with the bayonet. Anyways, so right now I'm applying the bayonet to my opponent, and I'm using my interior lines to maneuver my troops behind. And I'm trying to send my troops where I think I need them most. Anyways, my opponent, we can look at his army really quick. He has these 2 units of 6-pounder horse artillery and 1 unit of 4-inch mortar batteries. Then he has 2 units of line infantry, 1 unit of Coldstream Guards, 1 unit of Black Watch, and 1 general's bodyguard, 1 life guard, 1 regiment of horse, and 1 grenadier unit. Alright, so I'm bringing in more troops to the action here. Here's my line infantry. I swung them around from my right flank. I'm going to tackle this unit of line infantry. I'm going to bash him from behind with my Cossacks. That is just a preparation charge. I was hoping he would form into a square so that I can use my gunfire against him, but my opponent wasn't even watching, so it didn't really matter. Now I'm going to charge him in, Suvorov style. In case you're wondering, Suvorov, I believe he won about 64 victories, never lost. Napoleon won about 43 victories and lost a few battles. But that's not really, that's only skimming the surface. It would be hard to compare these two generals just by looking at their records, because they were different battles altogether that they fought. But it's still impressive to be undefeated. Alright. So let's go look at this action here. All around, I'm hugging my opponent with my troops here. Not only is that Suvorov style, that's also Soviet style. Back in World War II, their method with dealing with the German artillery was to get so close to the Germans' troops that it would be impossible for the Germans to fire without hitting their own guys. And that's what they used. Well, that's what the Soviets used against the Germans at Stalingrad. And it seemed to work pretty well. Anyways, Suvorov never fought the British, so I'm having a bit of difficulty tackling his troops at melee range. But I'm gonna keep up the pressure here. And already I've lost tons of dudes using my my Suvorov tactics here. But hey, if it worked for Suvorov, hopefully it'll work for me too. I'm gonna charge these black guards here, and these are elite Scottish troops here fighting for Britain. I'm gonna charge into them. You can see by how slow my guys are running, how exhausted they are. Alright, let's go look at the action over here. Tons of action everywhere. Here it's his line guards, or his line infantry. I believe his Coldstream Guards were here, but they routed. But he has this, what else do he have here? I think it's just his line infantry in the center. And on the left, what do we have here? His general's bodyguard, where his general's at? His general's wearing this white wig here. and he also has a unit of line infantry, and I've got my Russian line infantry going at it with him. Look at that furious action there. And it's hard, like, for people who speak English. The reason we don't know much about Suvorov is because I believe there's only like one book, like one well-known book that even talks about Suvorov. But everything else is written in Russian for the most part. So that's why we don't know too much about this great general. But one of his dreams was to fight Napoleon, but as I said, he perished in the year 1800, and he was already 70 at that time. But he almost had his dream come true. He did, however, fight many of Napoleon's subordinates, who'd become very high-ranking officers in Napoleon's army, and he beat all of them. Like, he never lost to anybody. That's how great Suvorov was. Anyways, I have routed the troops in the center there. Now I'm just going to go at it with his general's bodyguard, and his general's bodyguard is now retreating here. Or he's trying to retreat, but I have my Cossacks nearby to give pursuit here. And you can't really outrun a Cossack because they're really fast. Not with a general's bodyguard anyways. So here goes my Cossacks. By the way, my army consisted of mainly line infantry, and I had a crap load of Cossack cavalry, and I believe I had I think a regiment of horse or something. Anyway, while I'm going after these cavalrymen here, I've also detached a unit of line infantry, and I'm going to send them at my opponent's artillery finally. I'm not sure how many people I lost from the British artillery, but I lost quite a bit. But luckily, he didn't spam mortars, he only brought one. But still, one mortar backed with 2 6-pounders, it's still pretty devastating. But I was very pleased with this battle because I advanced the entire way, and I attacked, and I kept up the pressure non-stop. And those are all hallmarks of Suvorov's tactics. He wrote a pamphlet on how to win battles, and it was called The Science of Victory. And I don't know of any books that has that published. There was one book, but I don't know where you can find it anymore. It was out of print. And I forgot the name of that book already. So, oh well. You can still find a lot of quotes from Suvorov in English. Just do a search online. Google it if you want. Alright, so I'm bringing up my line infantry. All my guys are exhausted at this point, and that's because I've been charging the entire battle. Like, even when the battle started, I charged when I saw my opponent's artillery. So my Russians have been running the entire time. And that's why Suvorov, under such circumstances, why he trained his men to be as mobile as possible. Like, he ran the feet off his soldiers. Very vigorous training. And very harsh discipline. Alright, so I'm charging into his 4-inch mortar battery team, and also his unit of 6-pounders, and I've routed all of them except for this center unit of 6-pounders. And this artillery crew right here, they're going to put up one heck of a fight here. And the reason they can do this is because, one, they have one chevron, and plus, they are completely fresh. Still, it's quite an accomplishment to be taking on all these dudes coming at them. But all my guys are exhausted now. So these British troops are going to be courageous until their very last breath here. So here I am charging in from all sides. And look at that. These guys are very brave. You can see all these green jackets. Well, they're not really green jackets, but they're my Russian soldiers with green jackets. And they're trying to mop up these remaining troops here. And they're putting up quite a fight. And that's the way to do it. You want to defend your artillery for as long as you can. And they're all gone. Very good battle to my opponent, though. Alright, that was a victory for me. I killed 618 guys, but I lost 1,032 men. And my opponent, Pistova 11826, killed 1,010 of my men, and he only lost 733.